A giant tarantula is walking on top of cars in the traffic jam. Cars are honking at it, but the tarantula is not afraid at all. It just keeps walking on top of the cars, sometimes even dancing on top of them. People are getting out of their cars to try to get away from the spider, but it just keeps following them and eventually it even starts to eat them. People are running around in panic, but there's nowhere to hide. The tarantula is huge and fast and it's not afraid of anything. Cars are stopped in a traffic jam in the middle of a futuristic city. Above them, the sky is dark and dramatic with flashes of lightning. The air is thick with tension as people inside the cars begin to panic. Suddenly, a giant tarantula appears on top of the car. Its hairy legs are moving fast as it runs across the roof, startling the people inside. Some try to get out of the way, but it's too late. The spider has already reached them and its sharp fangs are bared. One person screams as the spider lunges forward and sinks its teeth into their arm. The other drivers watch in horror as the spider begins to devour its victim. But then something strange happens. The spider stops eating and turns to face the camera. It stares directly at the viewer and then begins to dance. Its movements are slow and graceful as it sways back and forth to an unknown rhythm. The people inside the cars are mesmerized by the spider's beauty and they forget about their fear for a moment. But then the spider suddenly stops dancing and lunges forward again. This time it attacks one of the other drivers, sinking its teeth into their neck. The driver screams in pain and fear, but the spider doesn't stop until they're dead. The other drivers watch in suspense as the spider slowly begins to eat its second victim. They know that they'll be next, but they can't do anything to stop it. The spider finishes eating and turns to face the camera again. It seems to be staring directly at the viewer, daring them to come closer. The tension builds and the viewer feels a sense of dread knowing that it is only a matter of time before the spider strikes again. Just when it seems like things couldn't get any worse, the sky above the city becomes dark and stormy. Lightning flashes and thunder booms, adding to the chaotic atmosphere. Suddenly, the spider begins to hop from car to car, dancing on top of the traffic jam. It moves with surprising agility and grace, leaping over the cars and twirling in the air. The drivers watch in amazement as the spider performs its bizarre dance, unsure of what to make of the terrifying yet mesmerizing creature. The spider leaps onto the hood of one of the cars and looks like it's about to strike again. The driver inside screams in terror, but then the spider does something unexpected. It lays down on the hood of the car and closes its eyes. The driver watches in disbelief as the spider rests, its massive body heaving up and down slightly with each breath. After a few moments, the spider opens its eyes and turns to face the driver. It stares at him for a long moment, and the driver can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the creature's intelligence and power. The spider then gets up and walks away, disappearing into the darkness. The driver is left shaken by the encounter, but also strangely exhilarated by the close call. As the rain comes down in torrents, the drivers trapped in the traffic jam watch in suspense. The giant tarantula suddenly reappears on top of the car, its dark silhouette outlined against the flashes of lightning. With a start, the tarantula lunges toward the camera, its sharp fangs glinting in the dim light. Will it attack again? The drivers scream and cower in their seats as the tarantula closes in, but it seems to hesitate for a moment, sensing the fear of its victims. Then, to everyone's astonishment, it turns and disappears into the downpour. The drivers are left shaken but unharmed, and the traffic jam slowly begins to move again. But the memory of the giant tarantula will linger in their minds, a terrifying reminder of the dangers that lurk in the darkness.